The way people rank #1 on Google is about to change forever because we're entering a brand new era, but most people still have no idea how to prepare. And this shift can either leave you wasting the next 6 months trying to catch up, or it can give you an unfair advantage. And I know this because I'm experiencing it as we speak. After helping over 50 SaaS companies rank #1, I've realized that Google doesn't use the same old factors that determines how content ranks. But this shift makes it easier than ever for you to get to the top of search results. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to take advantage of it. But first, we need to talk about what this new era is all about. See, a few years ago, ranking on Google was simple. You'd stuff keywords into your article, wait a few months, maybe build some backlinks, and then eventually you'd rank #1. But then Google's algorithm got smarter and they started analyzing content on a way deeper level, which means instead of just matching keywords, it actually understands the user's search intent. And that's where most people get left behind because the new era of SEO is all about one simple thing: relevance. Google doesn't just want to see your keyword show up 10 times in an article. They want to know if you're genuinely answering the searcher's questions better than anyone else. But the thing is, most people haven't realized this yet, and they're stuck thinking that AI can just come up with keywords, write an article for them, and then they'll be ranking #1 in no time. But that's exactly why they're going to get left behind. So here's the wrong way of using AI versus the right way of using AI. The wrong way is saying, great, I'll just tell AI to go even deeper, find more keywords, become more relevant to the keyword. But the first problem with this is that AI can't do deep research or the type of research that humans can do right now. The second issue with this is that generic AI articles tend to be more surface level, and Google picks up on it extremely easy, and it brings down your overall content quality score. And the third issue is that more content doesn't equal better rankings anymore. In the past, you used to be able to just put out more content, and Google likes a high volume of content, and eventually they'll rank you. Now it's about high quality content on very niche keywords. So the right way to do this is to use AI to help you research, but also human research to write hyper relevant and intent driven content. This allows you to go for relevancy versus volume. So it's better to write 10 extremely relevant pieces of content on 10 keywords rather than write 50 generic pieces of content on 50 keywords. This way you're able to give Google what they want and rank on the keywords even better because you're genuinely answering the searcher's intent. Now, the first way to take advantage of this shift is something that people do completely backwards, and that's keyword research. See, a lot of people tend to rely on SEO tools or AI that just tells you which keywords to target. That's exactly how you end up like everyone else's content. Instead, we want to go to sites where people are asking real and relevant questions. For example, Reddit threads, Quora posts, or niche forums typically rank page 1 on pretty much any question you could ask in your market. And that's not happening by accident. Those platforms rank well because those are genuine questions that a lot of people are dealing with, and the questions are hyper relevant to those people in your market. So for example, instead of guessing what to write about, you can just use questions in those forums in your content to be hyper relevant. Now, let me show you how easy it is. Okay, so let's assume our keyword is going to be business process automation platform. That's the keyword we want to target because we, for example, are a business process automation platform. We'll go ahead and search it up on Google. What we're going to look for is any forums. So typically Reddit is a main one. So this is a good example of that. We could also keep scrolling and see that there's another Reddit post right here. There's a Medium post right here. There's another Medium right here. And that's really it for the forums or like personal pages. So we'll scroll up and open this Reddit post in a new tab, and then we'll look at this Reddit post as well. And these look like different posts. So to find hyper relevant questions or things to talk about in our content, I can scan this page pretty easily just by searching up the keyword, finding this Reddit page, and seeing that this guy is talking about wanting to set up automation himself, like in a CRM. He knows how everything works. He just doesn't know where to start. And he's wondering if there are any online resources worth checking out. And people are replying to him and talking about different no-code tools like 8 nodes, or here's a good post that's a little bit more in depth. So right now we're just kind of skimming. We'll look at the other post. This person is talking about a reliable business process automation tool that is user-friendly. I did notice that these are both talking about user friendliness, which is something that we could point out. But scrolling down, we can see that there is a top post right here that got 4 upvotes. So it got more upvotes than the rest. We can see what they're talking about. They're saying they landed on Zapier, Make, Airtable automations, and a few others. So they want a mix of power and simplicity. They want something that's no code. There's rarely any downtime. There's a lot of integrations. We'll kind of keep looking at some more comments here. So reliability, that has uptime, a strong uptime, so there's not a lot of downtime. Looks like that is kind of a favorite here so far. This comment down here is talking about it being extremely beginner friendly. It's affordable. You can do it and manage it yourself. So that means it's like no code. You don't have to be super tech savvy. And then we notice that there's more user friendly talk down here. So already from all of these comments on these posts on Reddit, we're already seeing that user friendliness is a huge importance to these people, at least when we're talking about business process automation, because on the two main posts on page 1 of the keyword search, we're seeing that people are talking about user friendliness a lot. So the way we can apply this to our content, for example, is including a section that is a ranking signal, which is a signal that gives Google and other crawlers importance on a specific topic. The way you give that signal is by including it within the first few paragraphs or the first few H2 headers in your content. So if I'm talking about business process automation tools, it's typically going to be a listicle. I'm going to showcase the top tools because that's the search intent. The second search intent would be looking for user friendliness according to these forums, right? In my minimal research that I've done right now. So what I would do is before the listicle, I'm going to include a section up top as high as I can, maybe the first or second paragraph, talking about maybe the tools in the list and how user friendly they are, or hey, these are my top 2 picks for user friendliness and the importance of user friendliness in business process automation tools. That gives Google a signal that we are talking about a hyper relevant topic under this keyword, which we can see that everyone is talking about in these forums. But just finding out what people are asking about or interested in on the internet isn't the only way to rank on Google well in this new era, because there's a way to get even more relevant. And that's by finding out exactly what your ideal customers' pain points, questions, and complaints are. Because understanding search intent is one of the main things that Google looks for when deciding how to rank your content. And the best way to do that is by pulling real feedback directly from customers. Now, there are a few ways we can go about finding that feedback. So we're going to stick on the same exact keyword. The first way we're going to do this is by looking at review sites. So we're going to search up business process automation platform. We're going to look for the top business automation platforms. So this one is a list of 32, which is a bit too long. We want to look for something a little bit smaller. We'll go ahead and look at this top 20 list, and then we're going to pull the top few tools. So CFlow, we'll pull CFlow because they're actually ranked here as well. We're just going to search that up in Google. We'll pull the next one they're going to talk about. And then we're going to scroll through for some bigger names such as Asana. We can do Active Batch because these are some like more enterprise platforms. And then we'll do Zapier. We'll also do N8N because I know that these are the top tools in our market. And then all we're going to do on all of these is search up G2 or Capterra. So we can just search up like CFlow reviews. Then we can see that there's a G2 up here. There's also a Capterra. So we'll open G2 because there is 156 reviews, so we don't really need any more than that. And before I go any further, the goal of this is to capture reviews from the market and analyze it using AI so that we know hyper relevant pain points that our market is dealing with. So we'll look at these guys, we'll search up reviews, and it looks like Gardner has 116 reviews, which does the job. G2 has 259, so we'll actually look at them. I'm actually going to take out these two guys and just look at Zapier. So we'll search up Zapier reviews. And the reason I'm doing that is because we actually have enough. So Trustpilot is a great example of this. We have 259. And then we could also look at G2 down here, and we can go to N8N reviews, and then we scroll, we can see that there's a G2. So the main sites you can look at is like Capterra, G2, Trustpilot, any review software like these. So it's always great to look at the top things that they're excited about, the top reviews, but it also really helps to look at the worst reviews. So we're going to go ahead and sort by the lowest rated reviews. We can see here that this person is saying it's good, but too expensive. Product is good, everything else bad. So I'm sure they're talking about customer support, or yeah, it looks like something about customer support. Couldn't start quickly, importing JSON workflow into workflow is broken. Complexity, powerful platform, but flawed. So it's flawed in maybe certain types of ways. No clue what this person is saying. So you can go through and analyze the worst reviews on here, and then go to a different product like Zapier, and then scroll down to see all reviews. You can click on 1-star reviews. You could also look at like 3-star reviews, things that are kind of in the middle. So they have some things they're happy about, but some things that they're a little less happy about. So in this case, they're feeling, insecure about their data, they're billed fraudulently, so it's customer support or billing. This one looks like a billing issue. This one down here looks like downtime and maybe a customer support or billing issue. This one is saying that the product is slow. So what you can do is go ahead and copy the entirety of all of the reviews, maybe like 1, 2, and 3-star reviews. I would recommend just looking at 1 and 3-star reviews. You can copy the entire thing just like this and just scroll and copy it all. And then what you can do is paste it into ChatGPT or Claude. Typically Claude is working a little bit better for these types of things. And then you tell it to aggregate the top pain points, complaints, questions that customers are having from only that list specifically. And then you tell it to sort it by the number of times that it is being mentioned or that given complaint or topic is being mentioned. So we'll do this as an example for Zapier here using Trustpilot. I'm going to go ahead and copy all of these reviews right here, paste them into ChatGPT. I'll go to the top and I'll just say, analyze this data and output the top complaints, questions, concerns that customers are having with Zapier and sort it by the topic or type of complaint, and then list how many times that complaint or question was brought up across all reviews you see below. So you can do something like that, see what it spits out. We'll just let it load here. Okay, so while it's loading, we can actually open a new chat and do the same exact thing for end-to-end. We'll just go ahead and copy all of the lowest reviews we can see here, paste it into ChatGPT. We can go to the top here. I'm gonna go ahead and paste in this prompt again, and then we can just kind of let this load. So it looks like the Zapier one loaded, and what we can see is that right off the bat, billing issues, there's 18 mentions, platform instability outages, there's 12 mentions, customer support, 11 mentions. You can kind of tie this in with this one up here. Confusing interface, poor design, 8 mentions, false advertising. You could also tie that into customer support, 7 mentions. So it looks like for Zapier, the biggest issue that people are dealing with are customer support or like team mentions, less of product issues. And then we can dive over to the end-to-end. It looks like pricing and cost is a big issue. AI assistant issues, which is a little bit more niche, a little bit more unique. Customer support, platform stability, and it is hard to use, so kind of no code interface. So the way we actually apply this to our content is by taking the top 2 or 3 issues that you're seeing the most. So in this case, we would choose pricing and billing issues, customer support, and ease of use. And we would use these as ranking signals that we are trying to be hyper relevant to the keywords. So for example, in a blog, we would put these in our top 5 H2 headers and the top of our blog. So essentially out of the top 5, 3 of them would be about these 3 topics. What's going to happen in this new era is that Google and AI search engines can see that on G2, Capterra, Reddit forums, and other sites that a lot of people are talking about billing and all of these other signals, and that your content is also talking about these signals early on in your content, which means they're a ranking signal. This is going to allow them to trust your content a lot more. And then the second thing it's going to do is decrease your bounce rate, because the customers in your market clearly care about these issues. And when they're looking to review business process automation tools, as an example, they're going to bounce a lot less because your content is being extremely relevant to the things they care about. And the last variation of this strategy is by not using G2 reviews or Capterra reviews, but actual sales call transcripts from your customers, demos, client calls, whatever it may be. But you can use the exact transcripts to see the top things that your top 20 or 30 ideal customers are actually talking about. Typically, AI can pick up on it a lot better, be a little bit more unbiased, and just choose the top things they're talking about. And some of it may shock you because you're not talking about it in any of your marketing messaging or any of your SEO content, but it's the main things that your customers are talking about. So I would use the same prompt that I used for the G2 Capterra reviews. Just use your sales call transcripts instead. Now you know exactly how to rank #1 on Google in the new SEO era, but these strategies alone won't get you there. You still need to combine them with things like backlinks to get you to the top as fast as possible. So if you want to see exactly how to get high quality backlinks to rank you #1 on Google, you can watch this video here and I'll see you over there.